All right, well, it may seem like ancient history, but it's only been 50 years since the first human beings landed on the moon.
And tomorrow actually marks the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 launch, the mission that allowed astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin to take a stroll where no one had set foot before.
Well, tonight, a local connection to that historic day. 11 Alive's Doug Richards reports on the prominent Atlantans who led protests following the space program.
This year's space budget is 3 times what it was in January 1961.
When President Kennedy challenged America in 1962 to reach the moon, NASA had already launched 5 manned rockets, and the government was spending $5.5 billion a year on space.
A staggering sum, though somewhat less than we pay for cigarettes and cigars every year. Space expenditures?
Even in 1960s money, that cost was staggering, $25 billion by the time the Apollo program ended.
July 16th, the day had come.
As the Apollo 11 astronauts prepared for launch, a bus on the grounds near the Kennedy Space Center emptied, and Atlanta civil rights figures Ralph Abernathy and Hosea Williams emerged to lead a protest against the space program.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
On the eve of one of man's noblest ventures, I am profoundly moved by our nation's scientific achievements in space.
Abernathy recognized the historic moment while decrying what he called an inexcusable gulf between America's technological abilities and our social injustice. NASA responded by inviting some of the protesters to watch the Apollo 11 launch in the VIP section.
President Nixon waving to the astronauts.
After he was reelected, President Nixon canceled the final Apollo launch for budgetary reasons.
You know, 4 days after Apollo 11 launch, Armstrong and Aldrin made it to the moon's surface, and our world changed forever.
NASA was created as a federal agency in 1958, at a time when the struggle for civil rights and racial equality was intensifying. Much of the new agency was located in the racially segregated South, which brought us directly into the path of the civil rights movement. And although it took a while for NASA to fully open its doors to people of all races, genders, and walks of life, we have made great strides over the years. Much of our progress is due to the hard work and dedication of our Office of Diversity and Equal Opportunity at headquarters, and the diversity champions and managers at each of our centers. Today, African Americans and other minorities are playing critical roles in everything we do, as scientists and engineers, administrators and managers, analysts, astronauts, educators, communicators, and more. Like the rest of America, our greatest mission, to build a more perfect union, is not yet complete. As President Lyndon Baines Johnson reminded us 50 years ago today, and I quote, "This Civil Rights Act is a challenge to all of us to go to work in our communities and our states, in our homes and in our hearts, to eliminate the last vestiges of injustice in our beloved country. Thanks to every single one of you in our NASA contractor family for being good stewards of NASA's commitment to diversity, inclusion, and opportunity for all."